This one's going to make a lot of people mad. Okay, have you heard of Lil Nas X? Just out of curiosity. If you haven't heard of Lil Nas X, you may have possibly been living underneath a rock for the last couple weeks. Now, after all or most of the dust has settled, I've decided to weigh in my 2 cents. And the reason why I do that is I make sure I get all sides. So recently, Lil Nas X has released a song called Call Me By Your Name. If I'm screwing that up, I'll put it up here on the screen. But the point here is he released this song and it's about his sexuality. It's about how he has chosen to be gay, and basically he says that this song is to his younger self, saying that, hey, it's okay. And I've also heard some reports of him saying that, him tweeting out, saying, you know what, Christians, if you're angry, I'm glad because I was angry because something about us Christians telling him he's going to go to hell for being gay. So it's kind of his way of getting back at everybody at the same time. There's like many different layers to this onion here. In the wake of this shock and awe fest, there's been some Christians that have stood there and clapped and said, oh, how brave, and they want to support what Lil Nas X is doing. And then there's been Christians on the other side of the fence, and they're shouting and they're cursing and they're telling him he's going to go to hell. I don't believe that either response is appropriate. What I want to say to the Christians on the side of the fence that are just sitting there screaming, you're going to go to hell, you're going to go to hell, and using that as like a tool, I guess, as against somebody, is you got to stop expecting non-Christians to have Christian values. Because the world is exactly that, the world. The world is going to act like the world. The world is going to say that, hey, this is okay, let's embrace it. And to the Christians out there that are sitting there clapping, going, oh, how brave, clap, clap, how brave. I don't think that's the appropriate response. And I think some Christians are misunderstanding the term when Jesus says, hey, love your neighbor as yourself. Loving somebody does not mean support. You can tell somebody a loving word of correction without being mean. You can. You can be firm, but yet still loving. Because it would be unloving for you to let them continue as they are. And I think that's what people in our culture right now are misunderstanding as loving means to support. That's not the same thing. Loving somebody and supporting somebody are two very different things. So now you may ask this question right about now is saying, then what exactly is the appropriate response? Well, I'm glad you asked. The appropriate response to be respond like Jesus in kindness, but also lovingly. Now, how do we do that? First, I want to bring up some scripture. Is Romans 5:8. It says, but God showed his love for us while we were yet still sinners. Christ died for us. So Jesus died for us while we were still in sin. Because when we sit here and we look at people, especially the LGBT community, and we say, hey, you're going to hell because of your lifestyle choice. Instantly that shuts people down. It's not helpful. Have conversations with people, please. Quit accusing and have conversations. And then the next verse I want to bring up is 1 John 4:8-9. Anyone does not know God, because God is love. In this the love of God was made manifested among us, that God sent his only Son into the world, so that we might live through him. So if we don't love people, we don't know God. Now, the scripture doesn't specify whether that's saved or unsaved. And if I missed something, please feel free to comment down below and let me know, hey, you missed this. But my point is, from looking at it from my point of view, the scripture doesn't say, hey, only love a saved person. Our job as Christians is to love people. And I think so many of us, we get so entrapped in the theological statements and theological degrees and things like that, but we kind of put our humanity aside. The thing that we need to remember is Lil Nas X is made in the image of God just like we are. Just because he's still a sinner doesn't mean he's not made in the image of God. And the final thought I have about this is if we were to just actually, as a Christian community, step back and not get all in an uproar, like, waving our arms and, shouting at the top of our lungs. There are certain issues that we need to do that, right? But sitting there telling people, you're going to go to hell, because of their lifestyle and because they don't understand. You still have to love people. You have to remember they are people, and the conversation needs to change. Let me know if you guys would like to hear more videos about how to talk to people and how to, more evangelistic, I guess, videos on how to have the conversation not be threatening. All right, I've taken enough of you guys' time. Remember, like, share, subscribe, the whole 9 yards, and guess what? Be like Jesus, y'all.